Hey everyone, welcome back into the show, episode 5 of On Isles Time. Brendan Yerkes, Cole Healy here with you as another busy week in the NHL concludes, and now we move into the offseason fully as free agency has now wrapped up for the New York Islanders. I mean, not officially, but I think they're pretty much done aside from one more player that needs to sign. But overall, we've had a exciting offseason so far, as obviously with all the things that have gone on. But now coming to a shocking close. But Matthew Dart's first free agency in the books. We're going to dive all into that. But initial thoughts, we're really happy. And Cole, we're we're
Yeah,
feeling good again. I keep saying
definitely.
this. I
Yeah.
think every episode we're feeling good.
Yeah, it's like it's just so weird to be this not angry at anything for once. I feel like we're so used to being angry at something as Islander fans. Now it's like can't complain with anything. I wasn't expecting to do anything July 1st and Matthew Darch went out and made some moves.
I think in our last episode before free agency, we're like, yeah, we're not going to talk too much about it. Nothing's going to happen. Like, we're going to re-sign some people and you know, just fill the holes, do what they needed to do, and
Right,
like
yeah.
bring everybody back. But
Go
what did
in
they
and blow
do?
something
They did
sane.
more than that, a lot more than
Yeah.
that actually, which is
Yes.
surprising. But it's really been good. And before we dive into that, I'll plug our social medias. Follow us at On Isles Time on Instagram and X. Follow me at Brendan underscore Yerkes. That's BRENDAN underscore YERKES. Cole at Cole Healy 06, COLEHEALY 06 on X. So yeah, free agency in the books. But yeah, not even the angry thing. It's like it's always just like, oh, nothing's gonna happen or just frustration. Because I feel like it's been less anger and just like this is just so frustrating.
Yeah.
But now
Fed up.
it's like a complete 180. I said it the last episode too. Like I don't think we've ever had this much positivity. And to add to that, we're going to also talk about Dev Camp a little bit later and the things that have gone on there. The fan base is just rejuvenated. They pack the place out every day for practices, the scrimmage. People online are just saying all these great things. We got so many great players. The team is still not going to be bad next year. Like, and there's so many prospects in the pool that just everybody's excited and excited to be a fan again. It's like a fresh start, as we've said, and can now feel like there's light at the end of the tunnel, and there's optimism for the New York Islanders.
Definitely. And it's like, people make the argument that we had this bright future, back 10 years ago, right? After Dal Cole and Jose. But even then, there was all the drama, with Brooklyn. Like there was still so much uncertainty there. I feel like now is really the first time or the first time in at least in my lifetime, I'm sure in yours as well, just where we have this bright future. Everything looks good. Like there's really no downsides, or like there's no bad things that we in the foreseeable future. And now
Yeah,
I don't want to jinx it. I'm gonna knock on some wood right here. But yeah, I mean, no, we have a stable arena, we have stable ownership, we have a GM who obviously hasn't been around too long, but it's a great start so far. It's his first time being the guy. He's been an assistant, but it's his first go around, and he's doing a great job so far.
absolutely. And yeah, that 10 years ago, there was positivity because they had a young core. I mean, the core that now everyone's like, this is such an old core. They're so old. They were young at one point, and they made their way through. The Brock Nelsons, obviously, he's gone now, but Brock Nelson, Anders Lee, Pollock came a little bit after that. So that kind of core, I mean, trying to look back at who's really still around, like obviously Martin and Clutterbuck were there. Cizikas was still young at that time. That team grew up, and now they're fading out as it's kind of going into the next era with some pieces still there. But that was looked at as a young team that was getting somewhere. 2013 they made the playoffs. 2014, 15 they should have went further, I think, in the playoffs. But that was the first big
Yes.
year. Then they obviously win the playoff round next year. It took a few more years to get a sustained coach and Trotz. And then that's the core that went on those two runs. So that was the beginning of that process. And not everybody really looks that far back. They just look to Trotz and say, "Oh, this is that team." No, that was the same team, just growing up, and then obviously getting the right coach, which is a very important piece of a winning team. But that's a little bit off topic. It's just we see the beginning here of something, that a team that could win, not just being a team that is 500 and maybe makes the playoffs, a team that could be a legitimate contender in a couple years. And yeah, could we be getting ahead of ourselves? Sure, but you got to start somewhere. And you're seeing it with the prospect pool that's now shot up from like 26 to I think 12 I saw in some
Yeah,
rating,
I
and
saw
there's a
12
couple
as
other
well.
ones too that are all in similar range from the mid to high 20s to now consistently in the top 10 to 15
Yeah.
spots. So I think that range for now, then another draft next year will obviously boost that even higher.
Yep, yeah, it's a great time to be a fan. Again, I know you just said it, how we're talking about this every episode, but it really is just so refreshing to see all these bright spots, bright future. And even now, and as we'll get into, even some guys that are going to be on the team next year that we were not expecting to be an Islander.
True. I mean, trust me, there will be some times where things are not so great, especially during the season. I mean, we're
Yes.
expecting the team to be competing for a playoff spot. I'm sure there will be frustrations and complaints through that, but just I don't know. I'm always trying to be optimistic, at least as optimistic as I can, because what's the point of being a fan if it's going to be miserable? Like, are there
Right.
times where things have been miserable? Yes, obviously, but I'm not going to sit around and all doom and gloom. Even last year, I try to talk to myself into things, you know. But
Yeah.
now there's actual optimism, and it's becoming widespread amongst the fan base. And obviously, Matthew Schaefer's at the forefront of it. But moving into the future, we see it, and that starts with this free agency, which I guess we'll get going into that now. So yeah, we expected the Islanders to take care of their in-house business, bring back some of their defensemen, sign their depth players, their RFAs. It started with Dobson. I don't want to go too crazy into Dobson because I think we have every other episode so far. But obviously that's brewing up a storm on Twitter with the Habs fans. But Dobson was the RFA. They move him out, get the draft picks. That happened last week. So that's step one of the offseason. Then obviously the draft happens. Now free agency. There was so many defensemen, so they let Perunovich go. We debated what should they do with him, and we thought he was the odd man out, and he is. They don't even tender him, so he could just walk. I guess they just picked him up as a body last year, then didn't have a need for him anymore. You already knew Boquist was coming back, and Palmieri was coming back, so those were done already. And then looking at it, I think everybody expected Tony DeAngelo to be retained, and only a 1 year deal. I think I would have gave him two, but I guess that gives you the option to kind of see what he does in the full season and see who else you have next year. So they bring DeAngelo back. I think that's a $1 million deal for 1 year. So again, nothing crazy. He's going to be your new power play quarterback for at least the beginning of the year, and lead the right side now that Dobson's gone. So that was good. I think we were all wanting that to happen. He fills that hole well. And then the other RFAs, they get taken care of. Holmstrom gets a 2 year deal, which I would have preferred longer, but if he's still an RFA at the end of it, fine by me. Because then I guess you could say, all right, you took this big step this year. Let's see it again, and then we'll give you the long term, higher money contract. Because I feel like he's going to be a player. I saw it a lot last year. He has the tools. If he could just refine his game even more, he could be a consistent, maybe 50-point guy
Yeah.
based on what we saw last year.
Yeah, he really like I know even when he first got called up, you saw flashes. I forget he had a goal, I want to say it was against Carolina, where he just, he protected the puck well, just he's got that big frame and you could see the potential there. And then I feel like that really all came together this season. Had a great year. Don't know his stats all the time. I believe he did score 20 goals.
Yes, yes, he did.
Yeah.
And
Trying to
by the way,
think.
the contract is 2 years at a 3.625 cap hit, so not high at all, and then
Yeah.
allows him to, you know, maybe cash in on this next RFA status. But that was what's most important to me. Don't give up. Don't let him go to UFA, which obviously they would not. So
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think. I know that's what happened with Barzell after his when he signed that 3 year deal a couple years ago. He had his entry level, and then he signed another 3 years, and then he was an RFA after that. So it's again, I mean, obviously this isn't a new thing, right? Teams do this all the time. But yeah, no, it's just good to see. You would expect he's going to be sticking around a long time because he can definitely be a very solid middle six winger for this team. A team who's does not have a lot of depth on the wings, so he'll be a good piece to have. And yeah, I mean he'll get plenty of minutes, so more chances to develop this year, and then we expect him to stick around and be a big part of this team going forward.
yeah, even if you look back to 23, 24, remember he was playing first line wing, and everyone's like, why this guy? And now it's like, you know what? I could see it. Now I don't think he's going to be a first line winger on a
No,
championship team. I don't even think he should be on this team, but I think top six, maybe second line. Sign me up for
yeah,
that. I mean, he could. I mean, he's going to be a middle sixer in the NHL. I mean, I think that's
mhm,
proven at the very
yeah,
least. Where, if he's on the second or third, we'll see. But even this team, I mean, he might get third line minutes because of the signings they've made and now the logjam that's caused on the wings for a team that originally didn't have anything. So he's only 24. lose well, not first, one of his few first round draft picks that he made, turning out to be a player here. I really, again, liked what I saw, and that shot he has is incredible when he uses it. So I
Yeah.
hope they can get that out of him more. So yeah, defensively good as well. So happy to see Simon Holmstrom. Really was hyping him up a lot during last season, and just the killing penalties thing is big too. So Holmstrom comes back. Also, Emil Heineman, who we just got in the Noah Dobson trade, they signed him to a 2-year deal as well at a $1.1 million cap hit. Similar situation to Holmstrom, also Swedish. He's 23, also going to play the wing. And I know we saw stuff on, the potential trade could have been with Columbus for Dobson. Got, Voronkov, which I would have liked, but Darch liked Heineman a lot. He wanted Heineman a lot. And I think that goes to the identity of this team, that he wants a strong, powerful, but really fast team. And he kind of is like the epitome of that. To play that style of game, they're going to insert him probably on the fourth line. He's going to obviously get minutes, and he could still produce. I mean, if he could produce like he was in the first half of last year before the accident, then he could really become a nice player as well, and then potentially a long-term piece for the Islanders. And I think that contract also takes him to RFA, so they can kind of see what they have with him as well. Wouldn't expect him to produce as much as Holmstrom, but he's a guy, maybe he plays third line, bottom six guy for a team that could be really good. And it's hard to put too much judgment on him because we haven't watched him play yet. Again, cheap, affordable contract for the next 2 years.
Definitely. And I think it was Elliot Friedman was talking about how he can kind of, obviously with Martin and Clutterbuck retiring the last couple of years, Heineman can kind of bring some of that energy that they would bring to the fourth line. Obviously, you're not going to get that Martin Cizikas Clutterbuck line back because that was just so fun to watch. They did their job so well. But yeah, I mean, he can get some of that, try and get some of that mentality back. But yeah, so Friedman had some really high praise for Heineman. And yeah, I agree. He's similar to Holmstrom in terms of his play away from the puck. Not expecting to put up the offensive numbers that Holmstrom does. But yeah, I mean, he could definitely be a pretty solid piece in the bottom six. I'd like to see him stick around. It seems like Canadians fans were pretty upset to lose him, even though they were getting Noah Dobson. So
Yeah, I mean they were
we're all
Romanov
upset.
too.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say they're upset to lose Romanov as well, and that worked out pretty well for us. So hopefully this can be the same, if not more, have the same, if not more of an impact on this team.
And you say it perfectly with the Martin Clutterbuck thing, because obviously that was the heart and soul and the identity of the team, and now they're trying to build a new identity. Heineman is, kind of the center of that now in that bottom six. And to go back to obviously that line, the E equals MC squared line, is the name I would go with. I know there were a lot of nicknames for them, but in recent years they tried to play the same way that they did all throughout the 2010s, and even during the playoff run, and they just got older. I mean, it's not their fault. They couldn't keep up anymore. They were still trying to hit, but I feel like they'd get in the zone slow. They used to be relentless on the forecheck. But then,
Yeah.
the puck would already be out of the zone, I feel like, and then the hit would come. Or
Yeah.
the D man would go D to D, and then Martin comes in with the hit. It's like, all right, you still hit him, but it was like way after. So I
Right.
feel like it wasn't really doing
Not the
that
same level.
job. And with Heineman being defensively responsible, like you also just mentioned, that is what their game was lacking too, because their skating obviously took a dip as they got older, and that fourth line was not defending well. So now all of a sudden, you got a young, fast guy, and I always say like the modern day fourth liner. I said it with Fashing, who obviously we're not going to mention. Really, he's not coming back. He's a free agent, kind of being replaced. I mean, Gatcomb kind of stole a spot last year, but Hudson Fashing and Heineman and Gatcomb. That's the modern day fourth liner. They throw the body around, but they're quick and they're more skilled, but they still can play that grindy game. But it's all
Yeah.
about the speed now.
Definitely. It's the same thing when Kyle McLean got called up. He was great that whole year. And he got called up in January. And yeah, he was just so quick, so good defensively. But you could also, like you said, they're more skilled nowadays. I think he scored, what, like 10 goals, 8 goals after he got called up. So yeah, I mean, if Heineman can just do something similar to that, be like a 20-point guy, 25-point guy playing in the bottom six, while also being responsible away from the puck, then I'll be perfectly happy with that.
Yep. So Heineman, he comes in from the trade, so excited to see what he can do. And just again, like new bodies, new blood, that also excites people. They've seemingly the last couple of years, the Islanders have had maybe one or two new guys opening night. I think we talked about this the last time. It's like, all right, but now I feel like there's actual roster turnover. People are out, people are in, and it just feels different. And who
Yeah.
knows if it works out? It just, you know, early stages, even for just a year if a guy's here. It's just different. And I think that also excites people like, oh, I want to go see the new players. Ethan Bear gets a contract. He's a right side defenseman, still only 28 years old. Gets a cap hit of 775K, so not too bad on that 1 year deal. And you think he's going to be in Bridgeport, give you some depth for the right side if needed. Very good friends with Barzell. They played junior in Seattle together, so I guess a good guy to bring in. So, he could
Yeah.
eat up couple games if there's an injury. If you really need that, hopefully it doesn't come to that. But if you had to, you could trust that. So that's good there with Ethan Bear. Oh, that rhymes unintentionally. David Riddick comes in, a goaltender, 1 year deal, $1 million. He's 32. I mean, I'm nervous for Varlamov. I really am.
Yeah.
I mean, they
You keep
probably should have
hearing
did
that
this
he's going to be
anyways,
okay.
even if Saver Varlamov was fully healthy, to get a guy to be your third string, play in Bridgeport, help the team get better, and then just call him up if you need him. But Varlamov, they said he was taking shots, getting ready to come back. He had a setback. We didn't see him the rest of the year. And now
Yeah.
with this signing, I really think his career is near the end. I mean, I don't want to speculate, but I saw that, there's potential for that. I don't know, so I'm not, saying I know, but I'm fearing the worst with that. He hasn't come
Yeah.
back, but they're saying he's still trying, so I hope so because Varlamov's been a great Islander.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I mean, how old is he now? He's got to be what, 36, 37? I don't know.
He's up there, yeah.
And like yeah, I mean, great career. He's been around for so long too. They're always saying that he's, just keeping on progressing through his rehab. He's on the ice, he's skating. And yeah, really that whole second half last year, or it was what? It was November, right? I think it was the Saturday. It was either the Friday or Saturday after Thanksgiving against Washington. That was his last game. Didn't see him the rest of the year. And yeah, like this isn't the first injury he's had either. Like he's had several injuries throughout his time in the league. More so the last couple of years. I feel like he didn't really get hurt those first couple of years of the Islanders. We're starting to see the age catch up to him. And yeah, I honestly would not be shocked to see him not officially retire. He's got what, 2 more years, 1 more year, but just going LTIR for the rest of his contract.
I would just hope that he comes back also because we don't want to have Sorokin get injured again, get run into the
Yeah,
ground like he did the last 2 years, and even I guess 3 years is almost Vesna year. But
yeah,
I just think with the team getting better, you got to think he's going to be better too. But that's a separate thing. But hopefully Riddick, if he has to be the backup, can play well because I've heard from moments he was not great, but he also could be decent, it's like solid backup. But then yeah,
right.
again at other times, just apparently couldn't save anything. But big save Dave, he's here, so
Yes,
hopefully he helps the team out. But again, hoping Varlamov is okay. But again, always good to have depth regardless. So I think they would have made
yeah,
that move anyways. So I guess it's time we get to the big one, at least aside from some AHL signings. Matthew Highmore comes in, Cole McWard comes in. Just good to have guys like that improve the AHL team because they obviously didn't have enough vets that,
yeah,
help teams win. I mean, obviously the AHL well. Prospects help. You have some prospects, some young guys, but you need to have AHL quality players to help win, and that's kind of how Abbotsford won the Calder Cup this year. But
yeah,
the big one, Jonathan Drouin, 2 year deal, $4 million for each year, so an $8 million total value. That shocked me. I was at
yeah,
work the other day, comes across my phone. The Islanders announced they signed Jonathan Drouin to a 2 year deal. I'm like, what? Where did that come from? Did not see
yeah,
that coming at all. But I love it.
yeah,
I absolutely love it.
yeah. I said a couple years ago when I don't remember if he was bought out or just contract terminated, whatever it was with Montreal when he ended before he signed with Colorado. I was saying he would be a great fit on the Islanders. I know the plan isn't to have him with Horvat and Barzell, but that was my argument at the time, was saying he should go with them. Yeah, I was also at work when it happened. I was not really checking my phone that often because, again, like we said, we both weren't expecting anything to happen. And then yeah, I see Jonathan Drouin signs with the Islanders. Yeah, and back to what you were saying with like the roster turnover. He's not the biggest name out there, but in this year's free agent class, there really weren't a ton of huge names, and he just had a really solid year. I know he faced some injuries, but he still had a very solid year. Showed he can still be a legit top six option. So yeah, he's gonna be a great piece to have. I know he's probably gonna play alongside Bo Horvat, and then I don't know, maybe Holmstrom. There's
Right, 'cause they want
all
to
these
put Barzell
projected
back to
lines.
center and put Drouin in
Yeah,
on the wing, which I like. Split them up, I guess. But he was a third overall pick, right, Drouin?
I believe so. Third or fourth.
Yeah,
I think third.
obviously with
Yeah.
Tampa Bay. I was looking at his contract as we were preparing for this. He's only 30 years old. which is crazy to me.
Yeah, it feels like he's been around forever.
So he's still young. I mean, if all goes well and he's great here, there's no reason he wouldn't come back, I don't think. But obviously, I'm looking at it only at 2 years because it's perfect. And Darch even said it himself. He's not handicapping the future of this team with the contract now. Obviously, Romanov got a long-term deal, but Romanov is a young player who's a part of the core for the future. But with the moves
Yeah,
made and the contracts like Lee and Pajot that are coming off the books, he's being smart and he's just signing guys who can make an impact now, help the team stay competitive as their young guys get ready. So as we said with Palmieri, 2 years for Drouin, then Yzerman slides in. Then, Prokhorov slides in when these guys leave. Like you don't know who's going to be the guy, but you have it where the team's competitive and you're not just like at the bottom of the barrel like some teams just slowly progressing. You could stay consistently good. And again, not be Stanley Cup level for the first couple of years, but once you get those guys in and working on a good team, first of all, you're playing with better players and you're better when you're in competitive games. It's also helps development instead of being on a horrible team. So
yeah,
that's the best way to learn. And if it works out and he wants to stay and there's still a place for him, he could stay. So, you leave these options open without handicapping yourself to a long-term deal. And I think it's absolutely fantastic for Drouin. It's great for us. And, note Ray Bennett's the new power play coach. He coached Drouin in Colorado the last couple of years. So he was out there. Drouin's an absolute boost for the power play, which is power play. If you think about last year, how they were 32nd in the league in power play and 31 in penalty kill. If this
yeah,
power play and just special teams in general even goes from last to the middle of the pack, this team might be a playoff team last year based on that alone. So you look at
yeah,
next year, and a lot of teams are in the East. You're going to need that edge. Love Drouin on that front. Really should help that. Playing top minutes, playing with Horvat, I think is a really good fit. And yes, he has his injury troubles. He needs to stay healthy too. But overall, for the value they got and for the only 2 years, it's a phenomenal deal for the Islanders to get Jonathan Drouin. And again, very shocking, but
yeah,
a good surprise.
yeah. Very happy with him. And just going on top of that, like this team did not sign a lot of free agents July 1st historically, or at least with Lou. Um, and again, Druin's not some superstar or anything, but he's a notable name. I'm sure there are a bunch of teams that were calling on him, trying to bring him in. And this is going to be a good sign for other free agents. They're going to see that that Darch is not just going to let this team be bad. Like he's not rebuilding. I know he said it, but actions speak louder than words, right? So this a signing like this is showing all these other guys, maybe next year's free agent class or the year after, that while they're waiting for these young guys to come up, the Schaefers, the Aitchisons, the Eklunds, all those guys, they're still going to try and compete. They're still gonna be in the mix every year, assuming nothing goes horribly wrong. I know we both think that it'll be a playoff, or at least be close to a playoff team, if not in. And it's just a good look for these other guys that are considering coming to the Islanders. I don't know, the last 15 years, our biggest free agent signing is Andrew Ladd. That's not the best look. So you make smaller moves like this, show that you're still gonna try and be in the mix, regardless of where you're, whether you think you're gonna win the cup or not. So once you get in, anything can happen. We all know that. This is definitely gonna help their future chances, I guess, for signing guys. I have a point I'll make later on once we get to another player. But next summer is a loaded class, and I have a
I,
guy in
I
mind.
I know exactly who you're thinking
Yeah,
about, and
yes,
I don't know if it's gonna happen, but listen, you got to be in the mix. It is exactly what you said. Somebody signs. The more people that come here and realize how great it is, for especially them. Most
mhm,
again, we always say most players come here and they love it. You just got to
yeah,
get them here, and then they know
right,
people. Like Drouin is like best friends with Nathan McKinnon. Not Nathan McKinnon's not coming here. It's not the point I'm trying to make. He obviously
right,
has the contract with Colorado, and that's not even what I'm saying. But Nathan McKinnon knows people. Like you could be like you have an Islander friends with these guys that are on good teams. It just gets the word about the organization out where it seems like everybody like these guys are all like, have like a stigma around the Islanders around the league. Which I don't know if that's just
mhm,
me thinking that, but I feel like that there is. So,
right,
the more like Schaefer, that's why Schaefer is so huge. And that's obviously with the draft and getting lucky and stuff, but just like he went on Chicklets. We'll talk about that later.
yeah,
That's just huge for the image of the franchise, and he just knows people, and development camp, all these guys, like we said, we want to see them wearing the jersey and stuff, and they all had a great time. Like these things matter, and then that can be attractive to free agents.
yeah,
So it's all a big game, really. So this is like the first domino to fall. I mean, since Darch came in, all good things. And, again, if you become a good team, people are going to want to go to you. I mean, some people will sign anywhere to play for a good team. So
Hmm.
that's obviously the biggest thing. With everything now settled, it'll become easier and easier, hopefully. So we'll move on with the signings a little bit. We'll talk about Mark Gatcomb, who just signed 1 year deal, 900 million, 900 million,
Help me
900,000.
something.
That's a lot of money. More than Juan Soto. Mark Gatcomb was, I think, probably the biggest positive of last season, honestly. I guess
Yeah.
aside from Holmstrom, but the fact that he just came out of nowhere and scored 8 goals was pretty awesome. He
Hmm.
had the most notable goal on April, I think, 8th.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was a Sunday, right?
Yeah, the most notable
Seventh,
goal against
eighth.
Washington.
Yeah.
So,
The two most
most,
memorable goals.
yes, nothing else happened that was
Most
important in that
notable
game.
goal scorer from that game.
But yeah, exactly. And he came in, was hungry, never he might not have ever gotten a shot again. So what did he do? Every game, 110%, throwing hits, causing turnovers, scoring chances, scored a couple of goals. He was a machine. And it's a shame because now we've obviously signed so many guys, which is great. But now where is this guy going to go, Mark Gatcomb? I think he'd be a perfect fit for this fourth line. Maybe it's just like a Fashing where he fizzles out eventually,
Yeah.
where like McLean fizzles out eventually, where he still was fine, but I just don't see a spot for him either. So
Right.
he's going to have to battle and hopefully get a spot. Maybe he'll be the extra, but happy to have him back. And again, if he proves again that he could do it, then maybe he gets a longer contract the next one. So I think the 1 year deal is probably the right way to go, especially with how the team is constructed. So happy with that.
Definitely.
And Gad is back.
Yes. Yeah, there's going to be so much competition now in training camp. This competition is going to lead to, you would hope, better performance
Success.
for some of these guys. They're going to be fighting for a job every day. I know before we started recording, we were talking about Liam Foudy. He played 2 games this past year. No, he didn't really get a shot after those 2 games. So there are these other guys that are in now. Foody's also back. I believe that's a one-way deal or a
I think
one-year
that was
deal.
last week we talked about that.
Yeah. But yeah, so these guys, there's not going to be much room for errors. There's so many guys waiting to take their spot. One bad game, they could be out of the lineup. Another guy could come in and take their spot permanently. So it's really just you want to see that. You want to see the competition, the internal competition, because it's just going to lead to a better team overall on a nightly basis.
Right. So that's good to see. Adam Beckman was brought back for Bridgeport. He has potential to maybe be a bottom six or similar to a Gatcomb because he's played a couple decent amount of games in the NHL, not a lot, but he played with Minnesota and New Jersey over a couple of years. Actually was one of the better producers for Bridgeport when he was there at the end of last year after the trade at the deadline. So he could be something, definitely a big help for Bridgeport. He's 24, so I'm not expecting him to be like an impact NHLer, but to help the Bridgeport team will be good. He has 3 more games on his suspension for shoving an official, which I think maybe was misinterpreted because it looked like he was trying to like get into the corner quickly and accidentally sent him flying. But I will never know for sure what happened,
Yeah,
so he's got to serve that. But I think he'll be a big help for that team in Bridgeport.
yeah. And again, just going back to what you were saying, you need AHL players on an AHL team. It can't be all young guys, young prospects. You need guys who've been around for a couple years that can put up solid numbers at that level. And
And
I'm
need the
definitely
coach,
one of
and they
those
have it
guys.
now. I
Yes,
think.
yeah, I'm confident in Rocky.
All right. Yes, I am too. I think Rocky's going to be. He was running the dev camp, and it seemed like things were going well. But the big signing out of nowhere,
Yes.
Maxim Shabanov from Russia. We were in on it months ago. The Islanders were, at least, to maybe sign him, and they were becoming a favorite because they got Siplikov. And they always said Lou was big on these international free agents. They have Jim Palifato, I think his name is, their
Yeah.
scout, who's always big on the European free agents. And it seemed like it was the Flyers that were locking it up because Lou was gone. I think they focused in other areas, which is fine. And then the Isles were back in. They were in the mix. There were a couple teams. Then it went down to Islanders and Rangers. Were like, oh, not again. But that Elliot Friedman tweet, he's signing with the
Yes.
Islanders. Oh man.
That was
And
great. That
again,
was a great day.
who knows if it actually works out because he's very small. He's 5'8", I think, or is he 5'6"?
I think 5'8".
I think 5'8". 5'6" would be
Who
too
knows? He
small.
could realistically be 5'6", just listed at 5'8". You never
I
know
Who
some of these
knows?
guys.
He's short. He's small.
Yeah.
And he's very light too, so he probably needs to put on some muscle. But the magic this guy could do with the hockey stick and the puck is just the spin move. I mean, even like the way he skates, the moves he makes, Michigan's crazy breakaway moves. Like his shot is nasty. This guy has the offensive skill and the skating to be able to produce in this league. 67 points in 65 games in the KHL, more than Sipakov had.
Yeah.
So if they could find a way and walk and get him, get him going, this could be a potential steal. They said he has comparable numbers to Kaprizov, which I know is where you were going to go before.
That's
They
exactly
said
where I
his
was
numbers
going.
were comparable in the KHL before he came over. He's 24, so he's obviously like developed, like he's entering like prime age because that's how it is in Russia. And Waugh even complimented his play away from the puck and that he can play everywhere. So I mean, that's encouraging too. That he's not going to be like a nightmare everywhere else, and he's just offense. Like he could actually step in and play the NHL game. So
Right.
if they could get something out of him, and I mean, obviously, we think he's gonna be good. But if he could become a star, could you imagine? I mean, I'll take it if he's just a good player, but
Yeah.
we could have got lucky here.
He's got a very high ceiling, and if he comes anywhere close to that ceiling, then we'll be in great shape. Yeah, I mean, 24 years old, so he'll step in now. He'll be a regular, just like Siplikov was last year. Siplikov struggled for at times. I think he went from like December to February without scoring. That's just part of the adjustment, right? So Shabanov he'll have that adjustment period as well. I'm sure he'll struggle at times, but yeah, just watching some of those clips of him playing in the KHL, his ceiling's up there. He can be a very, very solid top six guy, top line guy. I'm excited for him. I think it was Ethan Sears had reported on it back in October that they were talking to him. And
Yeah, I
then,
remember. I remember.
yeah, I'd like a couple of my friends, we'd always be talking about that. So we'd always have him penciled into our lineups for this upcoming season just throughout the year. And yeah, now to see that it's a reality is really cool. Two
I wonder
straight
where
years
he
getting the top
starts.
KHL
Honestly,
guy.
I mean, probably middle six somewhere, and then
Yeah.
we'll see if they can turn him into something. That would be great. And I guess
Yes.
to talk about Siplikov too, before we kind of shift a little bit here, he I think was consistently good most games. I know he sat a little bit. It was that February Wah kind of
Hmm.
scratched him
Yeah.
because he was suspended, which was I think ridiculous. That was the Flyers game. He got suspended, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at
I
that
forget who
game.
he
That was
hit.
that was horrible. That they even that was one of the cleanest hits I've ever seen. But
Yeah.
he's suspended for I think 3 games or no one. It was 1 game, but he didn't play 3 games.
No, I think he got three, and it was like the third game was against the Flyers the next week.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I don't remember exactly because it's like I know he. What I'm trying to say is he got scratched after that because they were winning
Yeah.
and they just left the lineup the same. So I don't remember what the exact suspension was and the scratch numbers were, but he got suspended and then walk up and out like put him back in. He's like, no, we're winning, which I guess is fine. I mean, let him watch the game. Like I always think that helps sometimes if a player's struggling. But I mean, no more stupid penalties in the ozone. That's got to stop.
Yes.
That's the one thing that's got to stop. But overall, I mean, his passing was great, a lot of assists, and then obviously the points like it was still a good number, his point total. But I think it could have been much higher just based on the chances. Like a lot of really good passes that could have been assists. Shot
Right.
didn't go in, good save, post, and even him, like he had a lot of good chances too, like that didn't go in. So I mean, what do you have? 10 goals, I think, and like 20 assists, something like that.
Yeah. 10 goals, 25 assists,
Yeah. So listen,
77
25
games.
assists your first year is pretty good, and I think you probably could have had 10 more with the way he was dishing the puck around.
Yeah.
Super strong skater. Nobody takes it away from him. Really strong on the puck. Not like a fast skater. I mean, he can move if he needs to, but he's just built. He's big. He's strong,
Yeah.
and you need a guy like that. So I like that from him, and he's in arbitration right now. So I guess that's what we're kind of talking about him. I think they get a deal done before that. I think they want to have him for multiple years as a future
Yeah.
piece, as a middle sixer as well. Which now everybody's a middle sixer, so I don't know where everybody's going to go.
Yeah.
I think they're going to want to lock that up, give him a contract, and close it out, and be under the cap, and not have to worry, and be in a great shape for the cap next year. So I like Siplikov overall. So the Russians, we're building a Russian empire here. Siplikov,
Yes.
Romanov, Shabanov, Sorokin,
Varlamov.
Varlamov,
Hopefully
the Ovs.
Varlamov.
Everybody's enough.
Yeah.
Barzellov, Horvatov,
Yes. There you go. Next year we're getting Kirill Kaprizov.
Shafarov,
There we go.
the
We got to bring
Ovs. Yeah,
back
Kaprizov would be
Grabowski for the that Russian hipster video he did back
who?
with Kulemin. Do you ever see that?
You say
That Mikhail
Grabowski?
Grabowski and yeah, it was like Mikhail Grabowski was I don't
Legend.
remember what it was. It was some video him and Kulemin did. They were Russian hipsters when they were playing in
Sounds
Brooklyn.
awesome. I got to see that now. I
Yeah,
probably have
it's
seen it years ago, but
yeah. I don't know why I just thought of it. It was
love those guys.
recreate that, make the modern version of that.
Well, we have multiple Russians now, so
Yeah.
more than just the two. All right, so Dev Camp, let's talk about it. Great event. I mean, we touched on it before. Fans packed the place out. Schaefer is just, he's batting 1,000. I don't think he's missed yet. He's like,
Yeah.
I love this place. I want to be here forever. The
Yeah, it's
fans
like
are
the last day
amazing.
of Dev Camp.
I want
He's
to, yeah, I
planning to
want to.
stay here.
He's like, I have to eat the pizza. They said it's good. What is it? A bacon, egg, and cheese. He wants the bacon, egg, and cheese. He's like, the golf course. Like, oh, wait till he's here. In 10 years, he has kids. He go to the schools. Everyone's always telling him
Yeah.
about. Listen, I
So on
mean,
the schools now.
Schaefer alone. I mean, just like, and he was really good on the ice. They said he really stood out. I mean, just drills, but some of the ways he just moves with the puck is just like butter. I mean,
Yeah.
he is just super silky on the ice. That's great to see, especially on Schaefer. But just everybody, like Danny Nelson in an Islander jersey, Cole Eiserman in an Islander jersey, Bednarik was there. All these guys, like Cal Ritchie puts it on, and he's
Finley.
closer to playing, so I feel like that was a little bit different. But he stood out too, and just to have them all together, all the prospects, they're hanging out, they're having fun, they're happy to be representing the Islanders. And again, I said that last week, and it's important. It really is for the organization, and just like the transparency that there now is. They all had a blast, and to have all these coaches on the ice, like Johnny Boychuk coaching up Matthew Schaefer, I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
And you know what? I saw a
Love to
picture
see it.
that Aitchison posted, because I also
Yeah.
tweeted that he's commented on
Boychuk
like
is right
every
there,
Def
right?
Camp post.
Yeah.
But Aitchison, I see one of his pictures on his post from Dev Camp on Instagram was Johnny Boychuk like leaning on him, like coaching him. I'm like, yes, you know what? That's a good comparable right there.
There you go.
Yeah,
It's
I
exactly what
love
you want to
that.
see.
Yeah, for the people on YouTube, Cole just pulled up the photo for those not watching. But yeah, I mean, big shot, score goals, throw the body. Yeah,
Yeah.
talk, chew his ear off, and just all these things on Def Camp. I could talk for so long. I mean, I guess I should let you say something. But one more thing that I saw on TikTok, which is actually pretty crazy. I saw an edit on Matthew Schaefer, because obviously everything's about Schaefer now. And I think it was like a stupid bacon, egg, and cheese edit, like that stupid
Yep.
meme.
I saw that.
And the top comment was like, he's building with my family next year. And I'm like,
Yeah.
everyone thought he was going to live with the Seidenbergs. The kid's at was like at side something. I'm like, there it is. And someone's like, oh, I didn't Barzell live with you. He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right. So I guess Schaefer is
Yeah.
living with the Seidenbergs.
It's
See it
like
on TikTok. Breaking
Carlos
news.
Mendoza's son leaking the Soto offer.
Yeah,
You got
that's
Dennis
crazy
Seidenberg's
also.
son leaking
Well,
the
like, didn't the Giants
billet
GM do
plans.
that too? Or is that just,
Oh yeah, well, there's the video of his son saying I think to take Jaden Daniels.
yeah. Always these New York sports, man. These kids are getting active, but
Oh yeah. Yep, there
they
you
want
go.
to be on the hot stove.
Maybe. I
But
don't know. You're not gonna be able to see it, but yeah, there it is. My family's building shapes.
it's
Yep.
insane that
Right.
happened. So I mean, we expected that. So I guess maybe maybe they expect him to be in the NHL. But
Yeah.
Cole, your thoughts on Dev Camp? I guess I'll let you say something.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I saw what everyone else saw. I saw the clips. If I wasn't going up for the Mets games next weekend, I would have liked to go up for Dev Camp this week or last week. Um, but yeah, I mean, I really just saw what everyone else saw, all the quotes. Schaefer obviously looking like a first overall pick, acting like a first overall pick. And just from the blue and white scrimmage, I didn't catch much of the first half. I got the second half though.
I watched the first,
Um,
so
you saw Aitchison. You could tell he was trying to tone it down a little bit with the hits, but even then, he was still
I think he's just
just
built
looked
out of
so much
brick. Like he
better.
could just bam, like
Right,
he
like
could hit
it
anybody effortlessly.
doesn't even look like he's trying, and then but he's just like
That's
with
what
such
you know.
little
What
effort, he's
I'm
knocking these
so
guys
excited
out.
for him, just like because again, I said last week that I didn't put much like scouting into him because I just didn't. We obviously didn't pick in that range, and I figured he'd be a Ranger or a Penguin.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh, we're gonna have to hate this guy.
Yeah,
But he is just. I mean, first of all, the guy is just like smiling. It seems like all the time. I said he's
yeah,
commenting on everybody's thing. He's having a blast, and he's just to be that big and strong and still score like 26 goals is insane
right. As a defenseman,
as a defenseman.
like it's you don't find that very often.
So this guy could be a beast on the back end. I would think he goes back to junior. Maybe he goes to college, which would be kind of awesome because
Yeah,
everybody's
I'd
kind of
like to
taking
see him
that
against
route
older
now.
competition.
So maybe he does that. We'll see.
Um,
We'll see.
yeah, it's great showing from him.
Romano
Um,
was good there. I mean, just to
yeah,
add to that because
yeah.
they
No,
connected on that
he
goal.
had the first goal there, yeah, or second goal. I don't know. And then yeah, again, it's just good to see all the college guys wearing Isles gear. Yeah, I know you mentioned Iserman, Bednarik, Nelson,
Finley,
Quinn
who
He
scored.
had a goal. Yep.
Also,
Daniil Prokhorov.
Prokhorov. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
He looked great in that scrimmage.
He's happy to
Um,
be. Yeah,
yeah.
Prokhorov.
Yes, there we go. Another one.
Another one.
And then just that video, I think it was the last day of dev camp, where he's like going back and forth with the fans, the Let's Go Islanders thing. It's just like, he's just he's what, 18,
Yeah,
17? Like he's just a kid enjoying himself there. But like just not having dev camp for so long, it's so refreshing to see that type of thing. I know there's the quote that came out today. He said the Rangers wanted to choose me at 43, but I said they won't succeed because the Islanders will take me at 42.
I
Like
love it. I
we're
love it.
having guys who want to be Islanders, who are embracing being Islanders, where
And he,
that
I think he
didn't,
barely speaks English too, which is awesome.
yeah,
Like he's just like,
yeah,
let's go Islanders. That's
yeah.
what he knows.
He's enjoying himself so far.
It seems like everybody
I'm sure,
is. Gotta
yeah,
love it.
I'm sure he's going back to Russia like for the
Yeah, I
next
think he
year.
has
We
another
probably won't see
year.
him for another couple years,
Yeah, at least a
but
year or two on his
he has the
contract.
size to play in the NHL. Like if he can just keep developing, once he comes over to North America, I'm sure he'll go to Bridgeport or maybe Hamilton by that time. Who knows?
Hamilton.
Spend some time there. But I think once he gets to the AHL, he'll be called up quicker than some people are realizing.
Yeah, that'd be great because yeah, these Russians. I think we'll have to double check. I think he has 2 years on his KHL deal. Not
See.
exactly sure. So if you want to check on that, because he could be a potential. I mean, they said he could maybe be a late first, so he has like that talent, but
Yeah.
more of a project. I know like Malcolm Spence was the guy they said fell, and of course he goes to the Rangers right after. So
Yeah.
yeah, Prokhorov, he's all in. But yeah, the excitement there from the players, good to see that. And I guess we'll wrap up on Schaefer, so we don't go too long, just with going on Chicklets. I mean, how awesome is that? It seems
It's a
like a
new
nothing
era.
thing. I always said like, oh, like that, who's going to be the first Islander to go on Chicklets after once Lou's gone? Because also with Lou, I mean, again, I don't want to be anti Lou, but imagine this is like imagine life 2 months ago, like, and say we got the first pick, would Schaefer be on Chicklets having a fun time, being like would there any of these vibes be here? No. It's crazy how different everything is. It really is. Just like even at the draft party, there was just like, the vibes were just different. Like everything was loose. I mean, he also had the first pick, so they were like, that helps. But just he goes on, and he's the first Islander to go on Chicklets since Jordan Everly, which is just insane, and can show you the timeline of things. Which I didn't think there was ever any. I didn't know we had one on Chicklets because I just figured, I guess the Islanders weren't relevant enough at that time.
Right.
So now he goes on and just absolutely dummies Biz for 45 minutes. It was so awesome. Just like, and he's like, I Islander for life. I'm not going anywhere. Like this place
Right.
is great. They're talking about Borelli's. They're talking about like, and he's just like saying about the things he's doing and training. And obviously training with Mark Giordano was big. I think he trained with Pellick too. Was in that crew at least at some point.
Giordano.
So that's good to have that camaraderie. Obviously, both Erie Otters. So these things are just hearing him talk and just talk about the Islanders and roping like again, like we said at the draft, roping the national media pro Islanders, which has never happened, and it's happening now slowly because they're all
Yeah.
in on Schaefer, and Schaefer is changing this landscape of the franchise. And again, everything else they're doing helps, but he is the forefront.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like you don't see. Saying to my dad the other day, or I was showing him that 3 minute video of just all the chirps Schaefer had towards Biz. As soon as it ended, he said, "Imagine if Lou was here. Like we just wouldn't be seeing all this. Like yeah, you'd still see Schaefer in some of these interviews, not on Chicklets, obviously. So you'd see the personality. It would be so suppressed. But now, he's all over the place. And yeah, like you said, he's changing how everyone views the Islanders. 'Cause just all the stuff about him leading into the draft. Like everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna root for this guy. I hope he does well. And then just seeing him now that he is an Islander, seeing all the stuff he's doing now that he's been drafted, even though it's been what, 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks. It's just so crazy to see when you look at where we were last year, and it's just gives you so much hope for the future. And this is just the start. Like this is only
Oh yeah.
guess what, 2 months post blue. Like it's just gonna keep going. Even like, something small like the TikToks, right? Like all these teams like the little question of the day with the players, right?
Yeah,
Like it's such a
the
small
first
thing.
practice post blue.
Right. Like no one it's not it has no impact on the ice. It has no impact on anything hockey related. But like I want to know what type of bagel that Kashawn Aitchison is getting, right? Like it's I have no it doesn't matter at all, but it's just they're like enjoying it, they're having a good time with it. Again, it is dev camp, so they're just happy to be playing hockey in an NHL uniform. But like I don't know. I just like seeing that because every other team has it. Now we've got
Right.
that.
It's everybody does it. It's not like holding you like back that you do it. So, you
Right.
know, I've done it on my team. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, I've seen
fun.
some of those.
Yeah, you know, some ridiculous answers here and there, but it's good. It's all good things. And yeah, like you said, it doesn't have any effect on the ice, like, other than I guess keeping the players loose and you know,
Yeah.
it's just it's a new era of Islanders hockey. That's what they've been saying, and it's true. So gotta love it. Gotta love it.
No.
I was thinking maybe we talk about Schaefer and what the plan should be, but I think we could save that for another episode because we have the rest of the summer to kind of
Yeah.
dive into the state of next year. But I think this is the wrap up for the off season, or like the I guess the events of the off season is the better way to put it, where it's like draft and free agency where there's things going on. Obviously, the Darch hiring kind of sparked conversation, so it's going to slow down a lot here. We
Hmm.
obviously have to keep an eye out for Siplikov, what Schaefer's going to do, but we're probably not going to have an episode every week like we have the past few, just because there's been things going on and we wanted updates before and after those things. But maybe bi-weekly, we're just to come in and talk about the state of the team. But I do want to have like a show where we're going to come in and kind of discuss what we think is going to happen. Maybe we'll do some line predictions and things like that. But we have the rest of the summer for that. It's only early July, and training camp doesn't start till like mid-September, which is just
Yeah.
ridiculous. It should probably start
I'll,
earlier.
I'm gonna
Um,
add one more thing. I know you're talking about the Erie Otter connection between Adam Pelech and Matthew Schaefer.
oh no.
You know, you need guys for the AHL team, as we said. You need some vets who've been around. You need AHL players. What better way to keep that Erie Otter connection going than by bringing in Greg McKegg?
Okay.
It's got to happen.
I knew where that was going right when you
Yep.
said, yeah.
You know what? I wasn't even thinking about it. You mentioned that Erie Otter connection. I said, you know what? He's a perfect guy for Bridgeport. Bring him home, Matthew
All
Darsh.
right. So
Bring the
nobody
man
knows
home.
what you're talking about, but I don't know. Greg McKegg just has been like an inside joke. I don't know why. This like
He's
deaf
been
guy. He's just been
future Islander for the last 7 or 8 years.
well for you maybe, not me.
Yes.
I mean, I thought you were gonna say. I mean, this is where I thought you were going, and then when you said AHL, I knew where it was going. But at
Yep.
first, you said Erie Otter connection. I thought you were gonna bring up McDavid because he's also a
Oh
free
yeah,
agent
go
this
go
year.
get him too. I wouldn't be opposed to
So
him.
the Erie Otter connection, and Schaefer is proud of him. So
Yes,
as you
very
said on
proud. I'm
TikTok,
I'm
he's
glad that
proud.
clip came out. I'm glad we got to see the clip
So
of him
that's
saying it.
fun. But yeah, I guess that's a perfect way to wrap. We'll definitely have more to look at next year's team and see where we're gonna go with next season. But again, still like 3 months away. But we cannot wait
Yeah.
for that to come out, for things to start. The schedule comes out, I think, the 16th, which is next Wednesday, a week from today. So that's also something to monitor. That'll be fun to see what's going on. I'll be able to find out opening night, figure out some games going to be going to, and stuff like that. But yeah, this is the end of free agency. But again, we're excited. Dev Camp was great. Good signings. Darch is on a roll. And I think that's it. Any final thoughts?
No, just bring McKay home. That's
All
all I've
right.
got.
Enough with that. So, this was On Isles Time, episode number 5. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to check us out on X and on Instagram at On Isles Time. You can follow me at Brendan, BRENDAN _ Yerkes, YERKES. Follow Cole on Twitter at ColeHealy06, ColeHealy 0. And yeah, this was On Isles Time, episode number 5. Thank you so much for tuning in.